Okay, so let's go again. That was a bit unconvincing. I haven't had all my coffee, that's my excuse, and it's really early in the morning. So going 4 pawns down. Remember, it's only 15-minute chess, so it's like a big 5-minute game, really. And is it my fault he starts slowing down, you know, when he's got a clearly one position to lose on time? I mean, you know, what can you do? What can you do? So have a look at title players while we're waiting again, maybe. Someone's asked about these ratings. They are high because it's like the 3-minute pool. It's possible to get huge ratings on the 3-minute. Garapon. Who's Garapon? I think he's someone famous, isn't he? Pablo Sarnicki, former world junior champion. Actually, he's got a 15-minute rating of 13.13. He's only played one and lost one. Oh dear. AfghanTiger. So actually, let's play d4. I'm getting a bit. I need variety this morning. White side of a king's engine. I wouldn't mind. Maybe to try the Sämisch or something. So this is one of the first systems I was using with d4. I based my d4 systems years back on Rb1 King book, and one of the systems I liked was this one. Okay, so if I can just, you know, queen d2, castle queenside, and h4, exchange off the dark square bishop, you know, h5, g4, knight g3, that sort of thing. Black gets counterplay, of course, on the other side. In fact, here knight c1 for b5, then knight b3 would support things like c5. So I think I might slip that in now rather than later. In fact, b4, knight b3. And still castle queen side because I've got the advantage on this side. That looks just wrong to me. This looks wrong. So queen d2 and castle queen side. King b1, rook c1, c5. Forget about the king side for a moment. Well, am I being a bit overly optimistic here? Because black hasn't committed yet to a plan of f5, f4. But now it's probably going for f5, f4. Right. So we have this f4, then I can work on the queen side, and this is kind of, I enjoy this type position. King b1, rook c1, and play for c5. It's fun because it looks as though the ordinary intention of castling queenside is to play on the king side, but sometimes you can be sneaky like this. That could represent a problem, that move. But maybe taking just simply a4, then knight b5, or just a3, take, rook a3, there's king b2. Queen a8, bishop e2. Don't think there's anything too serious there. But this taking a5, a4, knight b6, is that dangerous? I'm tempted just to play it like that. I'll play it like that. Just for a4, king c2. Knight b6 is on 2 pawns. Oh. If I take with the bishop here, I want to keep the knight. I think I'll take the bishop here. Mind you, takes and knight d6 could be a pain. There's knight b5. If I want to stop knight d6, we'll just snap it off. Knight b5. I think knight b5 discourages c6, and then maybe a4, king c2. Well, actually, maybe bishop e2 first, connect the rooks. Bishop d3 might be better. Okay, I think king c2 here. Bishop d3. Or bishop c4 now. Bishop c4, forget bishop d3, bishop e2. This diagonal could be useful. So just give me a free pawn. I think a4 just in case anything naughty is going on soon. Exchange sack or something. So I get bishop c4 in, it looks pretty ideal. Then a6, knight a5, knight c6. And that's a change from the e4 stuff anyway. These sort of plans, change of scenery. So bishop c4, a5, knight a5 to c6. Then maybe rook a1, rook hb1, push on after that. So rook a1, rook hb1, a5, knight a5, knight c6, then a5, then b6. Then I'd be creating two connected passed pawns, supported by rooks on a1 and b1. I don't need to go for the king at all, it's about the pawns now. I don't know what this is about on the king side. Bishop's kind of hemmed in. Knight h5, really? I can't help it, sorry. What is it about? Is it about g5, g4? I suppose that's a possibility to get undermining to get queen h3 in. So I suppose I need to sort of have some urgency over here. And if I play h3, there's knight g3, but maybe I can just move the rook there, and the knight on g3 is not doing much. Then he could proceed with h5 for g4, I suppose. So I guess I have to take this seriously, this business. What about just queen e2 though? He could still do a pawn sack and then knight f6. Then h3 and he could start to do naughty stuff. Possible. So the pawns have to be moved on soon. So a5 for knight a5 to c6. Doesn't seem to be a tactical issue with a5. Rook a6. Just take, so I want knight a5 to c6. Knight a5 to c6. Okay, I don't think there's a knight e4 or anything, or knight d5, or rook a6, I don't think so. Once I get knight c6 in, then the pawns are starting to be ready to go with rook hb1, a5, b6, bishop be supporting a6. I can't see black's counterplay here, actually. Okay, there's a rook sack possibility, but I still can't see it. I'm actually threatening knight e7 anyway. Rook a6, knight e7. If I want to win the exchange, I can probably now. He's not going to move that rook, but I like the knight on a5. So do I need to? Can I just carry on with plan here, A5 B6? So A5 right, does my queen need to become involved here? Something like battery, like rook b3, maybe queen to d to b1, then b6. Mind you, rook a6 could be a pain. So maybe queen d3 to protect a6, then rook b3, rook ab1, then b6. As he sacks a piece, pawns are crashing through. I think queen d3 might be preferable. Then rook b3, rook ab1. So queen d3, rook b3, rook ab1, b6, takes. Then there's a threat of b7. So just crashing through with b6, I think here is good enough. He's got his old plan of g4 coming up. So rook ab1, b6, two connected pass pawns. Without the possibility of a rook sack. It's possibly a knight sack. I don't think that does anything really. So b6 now, final breakthrough. Okay, b6. Bishop still tied down to e7 because of knight e7 there. So two connected pass pawns, juicy. So b7 is now on the cards. Nice battery here supporting a6 just in case there's a rook sack. Bishop can't move. So sometimes the strategic goalpost needs to change, not just going for the king but the queen side. I think this will do. Maybe I could have considered knight b8. This should be able to to do the job. You know, queen b3, rook b7, or queen b3, rook b8. Even just I don't know. Oh, it still plays on. Okay, a7 here for rook b8. That looks pretty crushing as well. So knight's actually justifying itself, supporting a7 here. I suppose queen c7, rook b8 you can take. Okay, there's one complication then. If that can be called a complication. Queen c7. If I want to hold... okay. What is this? I don't get this. Queen a3, anything? Queen a6. I think it's game over really. Long time ago. So I don't know, queen b7. He's not playing on, no. Alright, his breakthrough over here, is it going to create a pass pawn? Let's not try and get too complacent, but I don't know if I want my rook on f5, I want my knight back on c6. So I'm playing a rook and a knight up now. So a slight change from the previous game where I was about 5 pawns down. A little contrast there. AfghanTiger, how's he been doing anyway on this? He did win his last few. Yeah. He was just tired. I'll stop the entrance of the king, I think. I'll go for this d6. Can't see anything for him still because he's a rook and knight down. Really, it doesn't look that good. In fact, knight f5 is mate as a threat now. That's a good one. So actually, rook g7 and knight f5 to finish this game off quickly if he moves the bishop. So we're now threatening knight f5 mate. Okay, so yeah, I used to like this system, had good results with it, even when I was about 147 ECF, my second ECF grade, 147. I think I was beating 160s with this system, but not usually playing on the queen side, usually going for a king side attack. But I love the flexibility sometimes you get of being able to play it on the queen side. So yeah. Comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks very much.